supposed to be in my celebrities who haven't had plastic surgery video back in December. In fact, I even had the thumbnail prepared for that video with her front and center. But after taking a closer look at Doja, I noticed a couple of changes to some of her facial features that I could only attribute to plastic surgery in my opinion. So I thought, well, she's young, so I doubt she's had very many procedures. Maybe I can put her in my almost natural celebrity series. But after starting the analysis for Doja to be in my almost natural video, I noticed that there were actually quite a few more procedures than I thought Doja had had. But to make absolutely sure that I was correct, I had my co-researcher Kiki work together with me on this project. After Kiki analyzed Doja, we both agree that Doja was one of the hardest analyses we've ever done because her plastic surgery was some of the best and most subtle plastic surgery we've ever seen that led to some of the biggest changes we've ever seen. So after thinking that Doja would qualify for not having plastic surgery and then qualify for my almost natural series, now I see that Doja Cat qualifies for a full-length analysis video. So grab a snack and a beverage because this is going to take a minute. In the first part of this video, I'll be talking about the changes I see to Doja's face. Now, after we talk about the changes and the actual procedures that may have been done to Doja's face, we're going to move on to Doja's body. At the end of the video, I'll total up all of the procedure costs and I'll tell you how much it costs to look like Doja Cat. Let's get started. Doja Cat was born Amala Dalmini on October 21st, 1995 in Los Angeles, California. Doja was born to father Dumasani Dalmini, who is an actor, and mother Deborah Sawyer, who is a graphic designer and artist. Doja Cat's ethnicity is Black and ethnically Jewish, a combination you can also see in musicians Lenny Kravitz and Drake. Around the age of 8, Doja moved with her mother and brother to an ashram, a commune in the mountains of Santa Monica, and practiced Hinduism for 4 years. And this is also where Doja started wearing her head-covering scarves and singing bhajans at the temple. Now, Doja is an accomplished singer, rapper, and songwriter. Billboard ranked Doja at number 5 on both the top new artists of 2020 list and the top female artists of 2020. She has won 5 AMA awards, an NAACP award, and 1 Billboard award, and she's currently nominated for 8 Grammy Awards in 2022. Let's look at Doja's natural beauty traits. In this photo from her yearbook, we see big, beautiful, hooded eyes, gorgeous, well-balanced facial features, and a beautiful, infectious smile. Here is a photo of Doja in 2014 with her full upper eyelids or brow pads. And here is another photo of Doja in 2014 where it looks like her upper eyelids have been lifted. Now you may be thinking, okay, well this is probably where she had her first procedure, but actually it's not. This would be a great example of how a wig or a tight hairstyle can pull up on the upper eyelid. The possible plastic surgery changes start a few years after Doja begins to get into the music scene. Keep in mind, as you look at the following comparison photos, they are not perfect, nor are they perfect angles, but they are the best that we could find of what was out there. Both Kiki and I scoured the internet for good front-facing photos of Doja, and we had almost no luck. But always keep in mind that I review hundreds of photos of the celebrity, and it's only a few of those photos that go on to make it into a video to really illustrate the points I'm making. Let's start with Doja's upper eyelids. The first procedure I believe Doja may have had done was an upper blepharoplasty. Notice how the heavy look of her upper eyelids is gone. She now has more makeup space to her upper eyelids. The next major change is a surprising one. Doja had a great natural nose, but I believe she did have a rhinoplasty. Let's look at Doja's nose. The photo on the right is after any changes to it. The photo originally had a lot of highlight and contour makeup on her nose, which made it really hard to tell what the actual differences were. So I went ahead and toned down the highlight and contour so you could see the actual structure of her nose. And once I did, I see changes to this area of her nose as well as this area. Also, her bridge has been thinned and narrowed. If you look at her nostrils, their orientation has been changed into a more rounded shape. The lateral cartilages of Doja's nose have been shaved inward. The nose looks more narrow overall and very slim. Look specifically at her nostril holes and look how different they appear. Now take a look at her here in 2020. There has been a big change to her eyebrows. The tails of her eyebrows have gone from pointing downward to being swept upwards. Now, could it be that she just shaved or waxed her eyebrows and then redrew them on higher? Of course that could be. And the only way to really know that is to look closely at photos after this change happened. Now looking closer at a photo of Doja, we see that in 2019, there was a period of time where she was shaving or waxing her brow ends to mimic the look that she later gets in 2020 through surgery, in my opinion. The waxing of the brows prior to actual surgery is a good way to hide plastic surgery. What's not easy to hide, though, is the other changes that happened together within that year, starting with her eyebrows. Looking again at her eyebrows, which, although similar to her shaved brows, are now in a higher position. They have also been filled in cosmetically. Look at her eye length. It has increased. Her eyes are now longer horizontally in the after photo. This is another change that the temporal brow lift portion of a ponytail facelift gives. Her eyes have become more narrow or less tall. This is another change we see with a ponytail facelift. This is the best photo of the change I could find, with her wearing minimal to no makeup. Look at her under eye area. It goes from slightly hollowed to filled in, which is also the result of the cheek lift portion of the ponytail facelift. The cheek flesh is raised upwards, filling in the under eye area. Her cheeks have been swept up higher, lifting the heaviness around her nasolabial folds as well. If you look at her jawline has been lifted and tightened. Now, all of these changes together point heavily at Doja having had a ponytail facelift around 2020. Now, all of these changes that I just mentioned, I believe, are part of one procedure that is called the ponytail facelift or an endoscopic facelift. Now, this is a special type of facelift that tailors to repositioning certain features of the face rather than making someone look younger like the usual facelift does. It's been called a beautifying procedure by the surgeons who do it. What really sets the endoscopic or ponytail facelift apart from other facelifts is that the incisions are not visible. They're all hidden within the hairline. So if somebody has an excess amount of skin or soft tissue hanging, they would not be a candidate for this type of facelift. A good example of the look that the ponytail or endoscopic facelift gives is Bella Hadid or Dove Cameron's face. Both of these celebrities have the look of having a ponytail or endoscopic facelift. So if you want to know the potential results it gives, you just need to look at these two celebrities' faces. But it's surprising, to say the least, to see this facelift on Doja Cat, who for a long time has denied having any plastic surgery done. Moving on to Doja's mouth, Doja has had some cosmetic dentistry with what appears to be about 6 veneers to her front teeth, so we'll add the price of that into her final costs. Now, moving on to Doja's lips, I think that Doja had some filler placed in both her upper and lower lip, but with an emphasis on filler to her upper lip. Now, let's talk about Doja's body. Doja has always been confident in her natural body, and for most of the time in the spotlight, her body has definitely remained natural. but I believe I'm seeing some changes pretty recently. Now, I'm not able to show zoomed in body photos here on YouTube because YouTube will demonetize me as well as lower the reach of the video, which means that less people will see this video. But I can speak in very general terms here. Doja has a naturally ample chest, which looks to have been lifted around 2018. Later, when Doja lost a lot of weight, it looks like there was another lift with breast reduction done as well. Once you have any type of lift, if you lose or gain weight, usually the lift will need to be redone. This is something that not a lot of plastic surgeons are vocal about. Now, as I mentioned, Doja did lose a lot of weight with dieting and working out within the last year. However, I see some changes to her frame that suggest some surgical assistance as well in the form of some spot liposuction. A lot of people are very confused about liposuction, thinking that somebody needs to be very overweight or have a lot of fat or inches that need to be trimmed or removed. This is not the case. Liposuction is for a person who is at their ideal body weight that has localized stubborn fat pockets. That is the perfect candidate for liposuction. It basically helps the silhouette of your body. Liposuction was never meant for large areas of fat or to help someone lose weight. It works best on small localized areas of fat. Doja had these localized areas of stubborn fat pockets that are basically perfect for liposuction. These areas now have been smoothed out. There are other signs that she may have had liposuction as well, particularly to her waist. Please keep in mind that liposuction is done to look subtle generally. So if you're looking for an extremely thin look afterwards on Doja, you won't see that. Her thighs are still full, just smoothed out without fat pockets. If you look at her waist area, it has become smaller, but her natural waist was never thick to begin with. Keep in mind that most plastic surgeons ask patients to lose weight and get to their ideal weight prior to having liposuction. So Doja being on a well-publicized diet and exercise routine doesn't actually mean that she didn't have liposuction. Let's add up Doja's possible plastic surgery procedures and find out how much it costs to look like Doja Cat. Upper blepharoplasty, $10,000. Rhinoplasty, $20,000. Ponytail facelift, which includes a brow lift, eye corner lift, mid facelift, along with jawline sharpening, $200,000. Filler to her upper and lower lips for 4 years, $20,000. Breast lift, $20,000. Breast reduction, $30,000. Liposuction to multiple areas, $30,000. Cosmetic dentistry, 6 veneers, $12,000. Total cost, $342,000. Doja Cat was a complete shock to me. I can't overstate enough how much I and my co-researcher thought that she was natural or very close to natural. Even after analyzing so many celebrities, I still tend to believe celebrities at first when they say that they've never had plastic surgery. I do think that my naivete in this area does stop me from overanalyzing celebrities' plastic surgeries, but I shudder to think what would have happened had I not taken a closer look at Doja Cat's transformation and just put her out as being natural or almost natural. This really showed me how important it is to take very close looks at celebrities. Now, regarding Doja's bodywork, I do worry that Doja being vocal about her dieting and exercising and not about possible plastic surgery work. This could set off her fans or audience thinking that if they just dieted or worked out to the extreme that they would have a similar result. Please remember that even with dieting and exercise, if a celebrity does get liposuction, there's really nothing non-surgical that mimics liposuction. If you're going to follow a celebrity's diet or workout routine, remember in the back of your mind that they may have also had a bit of liposuction to enhance their silhouette. Please don't strive for something that might be unrealistic without surgery. So what do you guys think of Doja Cat's incredibly subtle plastic surgery procedures? Let me know in the comments below.